In today's video, I'm gonna share with you 3 summer home decorating ideas for your entryway. Keep watching. Hello, hola, aloha, how's everybody doing today? I'm so excited you're here because in this video, I'm gonna show you 3 summer entryway ideas for your home decorating this year. We're gonna start with a beautiful DIY, and for that, I'm gonna take you into the studio. But before we do that, I want to invite you that if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. While you're subscribed, don't forget to turn the notification bell on so you are notified about every single update, because this year we're going to be full with DIYs and home decorating ideas you will not want to miss. All right, you guys, well, to get started to make over the entryway and to give you some summer ideas for your home decor, we're gonna head to the studio. Come with me. All right, everyone, the materials we're going to need for this beautiful entryway centerpiece is going to be, first of all, my wire cutters. They are my favorite, and my scissors in case I will need to cut any materials. I'm also going to use a selection of these really pretty mom forsythia that I already had. I'm gonna use some of these blue hydrangeas. These are spray painted. They were white. If you guys haven't seen me spray paint hydrangea, because sometimes the blue one is really hard to find. There's a spray you can spray paint your hydrangea, but I pre-spray painted them so I don't have to go outside. I'm gonna use a selection of these really beautiful cabbage roses in yellow and in orange, more like a peach. I'm gonna use a selection of roses in pink, soft pink and fuchsia. For our accent color, I'm gonna use 2 of these lavender bushes from the dollar store, and then I'm gonna use some of these irises that I already had that I went ahead and pre-picked so I can make them longer. They're usually about this short, but by adding a skewer and some florist tape, it's super easy to just elongate it. I'm gonna show you in a second. I'm going to use this really cute watering can that I found at the dollar store, the 99-cent only store. I'm gonna link something similar in my description box below in case you guys want to do something similar than this. I'm gonna use a variety of greenery, and you guys know that I like to start with my greenery every time that you are making a bouquet. It doesn't matter whether it's a wreath, a centerpiece, or a floral bouquet like this. You have to have some kind of foliage to really make it look natural. I'm gonna use some of this gray foam. This is florist foam that I will also link down below, because this is not your typical dollar store. It doesn't fall apart. As you guys can see, this has been used a lot and it's still hanging. So I'm gonna use some of this, and then of course I'm gonna use my leaf shine, and I'll show you and talk to you about this in a second. But I'm gonna get all this organized, and I'll be right back to give you step number 1. Okay, so now that you know all of the materials we're going to need to create this beautiful centerpiece for our entryway table, it's time to get started. Okay, so if you've been following this channel for a long time, you know that I love a beautiful floral bouquet for any season for my home. I use them as centerpieces, I use them as entryway, I use them ornamental. I just absolutely love doing them because I really do feel like a house is not a home until it has a little floral bouquet. It's kind of like the little black dress. It really does just a little black dress until you put the pearls and the little earrings. And I think the flowers are the same thing. So that's why I wanted to do a floral arrangement for my entryway table right now that I'm doing a little makeover. So I found this really cool water can at one of these local dollar stores, but I'm gonna link something similar below so you guys can find it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this kind of like this. Now, I also always talk to you about the moss that I found at Walmart. I absolutely love it. It's only $6 for a whole bag of it. Actually, I have it right here. This is how big this bag of moss is for $6, and I absolutely love it. And then also I want to talk to you real quick before we start poking is the foam. This is a specialty floral foam. This is not your dollar store foam. This really doesn't fall apart. If you guys can see right here, this is from the dollar store because it was just against it. So what I did is I actually just cut it in half. Here's the secret, you guys. You want to fill this bucket all the way up to half with the dollar store foam, and then you might want to put your really good foam that's going to hang on to your flowers right on top, because it's really gonna hang on to it, but make sure that it's really tight. So for this bouquet, I only used half. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab all of my greeneries. I'm gonna separate them right here to see what I have. So I'm gonna start with the tallest ones, and my fern is always the tallest. You have to consider how's your bouquet gonna be sitting. So mine's gonna be kind of against a wall by a mirror. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one right here. And you know I like to work with sets of 3s, 2s, and 1s. And when I do that, I always like just give the foliage and the flowers a little bit of character, because if you go outside, if you have any ferns, they don't really like just grow super flat, they start to flop over. So you want to kind of do the same with your silk flowers because they look more natural. So I'm going to do 2 right there, and I'm going to bring one forward over to this side, and I have a 4th one. So here's my triangle, and then I'm going to go down a little bit. And to go down, I don't know if you guys can see, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go down on the foam so it spills forward. Let me show you what I mean. So you have to insert the way you want your foliage and your flower to be. So I wanted this to be down like that, so I have to go 1 step down into my floor, my foam, and then kind of put it down instead of going up like this one's right here. All right, so then I have a little bit of palm, and all of these foliages I already had because I like to recycle my foliages just because, well, I do a lot of these arrangements all the time. But if you don't have any palm, Hobby Lobby does have some really good palm, and the quality really does matter, you guys. I cannot get tired of telling you the quality does matter. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this to me to kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put one of these foliages right here, and then also just don't put it flat like this, but give it a spin. I always tell you that when I'm doing floral bouquets, you kind of have to make a spin so your flowers look more natural. And your foliages, it's very important for your foliages to look natural as much as your plants. All right, so then I have some really cool ivy, and ivy is one of my favorite florals that I love to work with because they're so droopy and dangly. They're so disheveled, and it just makes any arrangement look fabulous. So I'm gonna cut this one right here, and I've been linking this on my description box below because for the longest time you guys asked me where I found my cutters, and they were not in stock, but they restocked them, so there's a link for them. They just cut like butter, and I absolutely love them. And look how pretty ivy really can be. This is going to be kind of like my back, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through here, and this is what I mean by inserting down into the foam. You have to go down to make sure that that foliage goes down like that. I have one more ivy right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert over on this side. Look how cool that is. I mean, it could be just a greenery bouquet, but it is Ramon at home, so we're not doing that. All right, then I'm gonna grab my leaf shine, and you guys have seen me also use this before. I was also gonna be linked to the description box below. What this does is this gives some shine to your foliage that is rather tired, because I do recycle, and also this can be used for green plants. Actually, it's meant for green plants. I used to work at a plant shop where this is what we do to them to give them that shine. And just a little light spray really does change the color of your flowers and your foliages. Look how fun this is. All right, I'm gonna get all of my flowers ready, and I'll be right back with you to show you what's next. All right, so I just want to take a second real quick to invite you guys to come and join me on my Instagram for daily Insta stories, behind the scenes, and all of the things that you will not see here on YouTube. All of my links to my social media are going to be linked down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, so in floral design, we usually start with the thicker blooms, and they're going closer to our bouquet. But I want to show you how I had these hydrangeas, and I've reused them before. First, I spray painted them with a spray paint for floral. They had to be done with floral spray paint. You cannot just go to Walmart and get any floral spray paint. There's actually a specific brand for it. I'm going to link it down below, so if you guys want to get some of these hydrangea blue. And then what you do is you get a skewer right here, and I'm going to attach them right here, and look how I put my tape, my florist tape, and then I just pull, and then what you need to do is attach these two together and just pull really tight, and then you create a longer stem. Then you cut right here, and then you start right again to kind of reinforce it. And what this does is it gives this stem be taller, so we can actually play with our height in our bouquet. And I'll show you what I mean by this. So I'm gonna bring my bouquet back into the picture so you guys can see it right here. So now I made this longer, but I kind of want it, see, if I was to put it even all the way down, it's too far. So I'm gonna break right here, and that skewer allows us to just have more control on our flower, and look at that. So I'm gonna use another one right here, making that triangle that we always talk about in floral design. And I'm gonna go ahead and just find my foam. Sometimes it's hard with the moss, but the moss really does give it character, so I like it. Then I'm gonna use this other flower right here. Now here's the other thing, I only had 2 hydrangeas, so I just painted one of these really pretty moms, and I'm going to go ahead and put it right here on the back. or you probably won't see it very much. And that's what our blue hydrangea looks like on the bouquet. I'm gonna get the rest of the flowers and I'll be right back. Give me a second. I am having so much fun showing you guys all of these projects, and I really cannot wait to read your comments. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what do you think about this year's series. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to leave the hashtag floral so that I know that you are interested. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so in floral design, you always start with a bigger flower. Well, first of all, with your greenery, and then you start with the thickest bloom, and you move down to like the smallest bloom. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna use some of these cabbage roses, and I'm gonna start right here on the top, and I'm gonna go ahead and insert this one right here. Make sure that goes into your foam. So I'm gonna add one on the front, and then I'm gonna swing around, and I'm gonna add one to the back, and make sure that goes all the way down the foam. So that way it's going to stay where you want it to be. Then I'm gonna move over to this side, and I'm going to add yet another one. And I want this bouquet to look very natural and floppy and airy. So that's why I'm letting these blooms kind of come out a little further. There's going to be some flyaways that's gonna help us really fill in the spot right here. So I'm going to this, I'm gonna add one right here on the top. Then I'm gonna go over to the left. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down, and that is the easiest way that you guys will ever have to have a balance. It's all about the balance, you guys. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't have a well-balanced bouquet, it's not going to look natural, it's not going to look pretty, and it's just not gonna look good. So what happens on the left happens on the right. So I'm gonna move over to this side, and I'm gonna add one of these big cabbage roses, and I'm gonna add it right here, like this. Perfect. Let me see. To move around to this side, and I'm gonna go through the hydrangea right here. Remember, your hydrangeas have to be really at the bottom, and then you start layering down or up, more like up. Thumbs up if you guys enjoy this type of videos. I want to know if you guys want to see more. I really just want everybody out there to be a floral designer so you can actually have a gorgeous home. Remember, a house is just a house, and it's not a home until you have flowers. All right, so far so good. Then what I'm going to is I'm going to bring my purple. Purple is more of a highlighter to me. It really is going to stick out. So you have to be really careful to not overload it with purple, because you don't want that purple to be like a lot. So you just basically do a few flowers in this beautiful purple. And these also have that skewer that I told you guys about earlier. So you just basically break it. And then we're gonna go over here and just look for your foam like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead, and what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm gonna come over here like this, and I have a few of these. I'm gonna cut really short, and remember to save this because we'll need it for ornaments. I'm always trying to save every single bit of material that I can to kind of save me some money. All right, so I'm gonna spin around, and look how pretty this is looking. I'm so excited, and you guys know that I love the moss to just go ahead and like look disheveled, and it just gives it a more natural look because moss grows on the trees in the south, and this is a southern style bouquet, what I call. Okay, I'm gonna cut the other one right here as short as I can. I can believe these are only $1, you guys. They're such a good quality. All right, so I'm gonna put one right here. This is more like your filler flower, so you might want to put some flying out. How pretty is this? This is so gorgeous. It's gonna look really pretty with the flyaways coming out of it. Let me get those ready and I'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, so let me recap real quick with you guys before we continue with the flyaway. So this is going to be your foliage, which is the first. It is to cover the mechanics, and that's its main purpose. The first flower you should always add is the biggest bloom. So when you are making a floral arrangement, whether it's a fresh or a silk, always pick the biggest blooms, and those are the ones that are inserted first. And keep in mind that the bigger the bloom, the closer it has to go to the rim of your container. Then after that, you have your focal flower, which most of the time is the most expensive flower, like roses, like lilies. They are the third item to add, which is going to be right here. As you guys can see, I'm adding them right here. And then you're gonna have your flyaways, which you are about to learn, so keep watching. All right, so the last thing I'm going to add to this bouquet is going to be some of these flyaways. And remember to just give them a little bit of character. I also love this bush, and it's going to go right here. And look what that does, you guys. That really just brings everything alive. And I also love, love, love this one. I'm going to link it down below in case you want to get something similar. And here, let's go this way. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. And it's gonna look so good on my entryway. I cannot wait. This, I really don't need a lot of this. I just want it to be a little more wispier than it was. So right here, I'm gonna add one more right here. How gorgeous is this? And I'm gonna add one right here to the front, and we'll be done. Okay, so now that this is done, I'm gonna go inside. I'm going to show you how I make over my little foyer and show you what this looks like. Stay tuned. All right, everyone, so I wanna talk to you about how we're going to set our little foyer for summer this year. And so I start with this beautiful mirror that I've had for quite a few years. And I keep on changing this area right here because it's when you first walk in. So this is an always changing area. So I start with this beautiful white lamp that I absolutely love. And I've been actually looking for another set of white lamps because I really do feel like they just brighten the space and they just cast the better shade of light. And then what I have right here is a collection of photographs, and these are just family members that were no longer with us. Well, one of us is us, so we are here still. But I like to have a collection of family members that we are no longer blessed to have their presence, and I just like to put them right here. And I have a whole collection, so these are always changing as well. So now I'm gonna get my bouquet of flowers and I'll be right back and show you what it looks like. And as you can see, this beautiful flower bouquet really does create the symmetry that I needed right here with the lamp. I put it on this really pretty stand that I have had for a few years, and I also love this pop of color on my left-hand side with the white and the white of the frames. It is super pretty. However, I do have another option I want to show you. Okay, so I have this really pretty blue and white pottery that I also love, and I love forsythia. You guys know I'm crazy about forsythia for this time of the year. So I just put a really bright pop of color right here on my left, creating the symmetry with the lamp once again. So far so good. However, I feel like it needs a little more of a detail. I really think that by adding this really pretty floral bouquet right here to the back, it really brings the yellow all the way down to the side, and it really just creates a more elegant look. However, I have one more option to show you. All right, so this is the third option. It's just a green plant. It really looks super elegant, and with a little pop of yellow right here that I put on a riser to kind of create the symmetry and still have that pop of color here in the entryway. I also love it. I think it is super creative and very simple, however, very elegant. Well, that's all I have for today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with a friend, and be sure to subscribe to Ramon at Home for future decorating and DIY ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and until next time, bye.